We're nearing the end of the road. I say that because we are on match 9 out of 14, match day 5 of 6 of the 2026 PFF Women's League. I'm your commentator, Chino Sator, and today we are having the match between second versus first. It's FEU against Kaya Iloilo. The two sides have met three times previously in the last few years, and it was in the most recent meeting on the opening match day that Kaya beat FEU 4-1. Today, FEU will be looking to turn the tables in this rematch, as they always do in the UAP, while Kaya will be looking to extend their lead at the top of the PFF Women's League table to a whopping 6 points. The two sides are currently first and second in the league, and a win or a draw for FEU will put them in pole position and guarantee them a spot in the finals to be played in a couple of weeks' time, while Kaya have already qualified for that match. You can see the two captains for today, Sergeant Tulabing of Far East University and Shela Kadag of Kaya Iloilo. A lot of players actually share the same heritage between the teams. Kaya owe a lot to the FEU program with a lot of their players hailing from the college. Of course, who can forget current PFF Women's League top scorer Inday Tolentine, as well as defenders like Acuenco and Christine Julieza, who all play their trade currently at Kaya. Kaya will be led by Coach David Basa. People familiar with the PFL might recognize him. Over 100 caps, over 100 appearances in the club scene, mostly with FEU and Global. And another familiar face is on the sidelines for FEU, and it's Coach Let Dimzon for FEU. A familiar face, especially to Kaya supporters, as she led the team for 5 years from 2019 to 2024. She also coached the Capital One Solar Strikers in last season's PFF Women's League campaign, and she will be taking the reins of FEU this time around. Your match official for today, you see in the center circle, is referee Rey Martelosa, accompanied by assistant referees Gisela May Diong and Analu Arrogante, alongside fourth official Jesus Abogado. We're just waiting now for the opening whistle to kick things off as both teams are in their respective huddles. Kaya fielding mostly the same 11 that they did against UP in the last game. Of course, between the sticks, instead of the usual Ina Palacios, you have substitute keeper Kim Parina. Of course, it was Parina who kept the club's first clean sheet this season last match day, where they beat UP 3-0. Also anchoring the back is foreign reinforcement Saki Yoshida. Club appearances in Hong Kong and in Taiwan. Meanwhile, for FEU, last season's UAP best goalkeeper Jessa May Lehayan is in goal. She did score an own goal in last match day's win over LaSalle. Both teams will be coming off of wins alongside the figurehead at the tip of the spear, Judy Arevalo, last season's Golden Boot winner in UAP season 88. As the referee blows his whistle and Kaya kick the game off today. It's a cloudy day today, of course, at the Adidas football pitch. There's been no showers, but Pagasa says there is a chance of rain later on today. Of course, it will not be the only match that will be played today. Of course, at 7 p.m. there will be a kickoff between third and fourth place between LaSalle and UP. That's also a rematch of the opening round. And of course, for those who are in the area in Tarlac, there is a national team men's game in the ASEAN Hyundai Cup. The team will play against Myanmar at 6 p.m. tonight. So once this match is over, for those that are Team Bahay for today who weren't able to get the free buses that were offered, today is a festival of football. Kind of kicking things off brightly there as they win on a free kick already, just 1 minute in. That's Inday Tolentine taking a tumble to the floor. Of course, Tolentine is this season's top scorer so far. 6 goals, 2 against FEU in the opening game, 2 against UP in the game after that. Goalless against LaSalle, and then she scored 2 in the rematch against UP earlier this Saturday. And it's Tolentine who stands over the free kick. Kaya trying to work it sneakily there, but FEU reads it. Kaya restarted with a throw-in. They're known for starting brightly, Kaya. A lot of their goals this season have come within the first 10 minutes. In that 7-1 win over UP a couple of weeks ago, they scored 2 goals within the first 10 minutes. They'll be hoping that it can do the same thing here today. FEU, on the other hand, have yet to keep a clean sheet. Well, they did keep one against UP. They failed to keep it twice against FEU. And of course, on the opening match day, they yielded 4-1 to Kaya. As Kaya swing the ball in, cleared by the FEU defense. Kaya rework it. I think that was number 7, Camille Rodriguez. So often, a bench player for Kaya coming off the bench as a spark plug of energy. She scored, I think, 2 to 3 goals off the bench this Women's League campaign, but today she's starting. As Kaya swing the corner in, it goes narrow. Rodriguez picks up the ball, and UP, my apologies, FEU clears it. Kada attempts to put it back in the mixer. Ball just taking a bounce now. Kaya not letting FEU have a moment on the ball, but they're able to regain the ball in midfield, hopefully regain some composure as well. That's number 23, Marinel Cristobal. Hanais. FEU looking to slow the game down now. Kaya started on the front foot. Looking to regain some composure. The attempt to look for Cristobal again. Of course, FEU coming off of another successful UAP campaign. I think it's their 14th title that they won, and it was against rivals De La Salle University. And the ball now is Jody Arevalo, last season's Golden Boot winner. She scored in the final as well against La Salle. This time it's FEU quick to press Kaya. Kaya, of course, won their last game against FEU 4-1. That was the opening match day of the season. But it was actually a game that shocked many because the two sides have only met twice before that, and it was FEU who won both times. In the 2023 PFF Women's League, Kaya suffered their only loss to the group stage. They lost 4-0 to FEU. In the 2022 Women's Cup, they suffered a 2-0 loss to FEU. That was, of course, the Women's Cup in which FEU won against UP in the final. And their third Women's Cup overall. FEU takes the free kick. Yoshida scored a bullet header last game against UP from a corner. Rodriguez trying to work out some space. It falls to Kadag in the middle. Swings that wide to Tolentine. It's always been a thorn in that right-hand side of FEU. Troubled against UP. She was troubling De La Salle as well, even though she didn't get a goal. FU try to work out a counterattack, and Kaya defender is robbed for the ball. FU pushing forward. Stings the hands of Kim Parinya. That's a real chance for FEU. It's their first big chance of the game. It's the first big chance of the game for any team. Not sure who the ball robbed of the ball in the back line of Kaya, but it was a sloppy giveaway. FEU just couldn't capitalize. But they'll take solace in this. It's the first real chance. Trinidad. FEU work it back. Talentin trying to slip the ball through, and there's an FEU body in the way. Kadag. Of course, FEU's coach on the sidelines is famed women's coach Let Dimson. Was at Kaya for 5 years. That's why she will be very familiar to some of the Kaya faces. Won the Women's League with them in 2024. Oh, my apologies, in 2022. She was coaching Capital One Solar Strikers in 2024. Also an FEU alumna, which is why she's very familiar with both teams. Also coached the women's national team almost a decade ago now. Skaya attempt to play. What a ball. As Tolentin is miscontrolled by Joyce Onrubia, another FEU alumna. Turns out she was offside. Onrubia, of course, was Kaya's only goal scorer when the club competed in the AFC Women's Champions League a couple of years ago. Scored a late equalizer against Bam Katuna Viron. Scored already a couple of goals this season, one against FEU in the opening game, another one against LaSalle. Kaya, of course, will be competing in the AFC Women's League again later next month in August. They will play their games in Group B in Bishkek in Kyrgyzstan alongside Phnom Penh Crown of Cambodia, Ilbris of Kyrgyzstan, and TSL of Hong Kong, which has a couple of familiar faces from Tuloy, including Lani Ortilio and Lorena Evangelista. Or my apologies, Isabella Bandoha. As FEU hassled into clearing the ball. Ray Chan heads it clear. Both sides struggling to establish some sort of foothold in this so far. Parinya trying to look for, I think that was Altiche. Rodriguez squirming clear of two bodies. She sets Onrubia through. Two bodies in the way, and Alex Carpio takes a shot now. Safe in the hands of Lehayan, who starts the play immediately. Kaya in the ascendancy right now, but we're only just 10 minutes into the game. Yoshida. It is Altiche playing in that left back position today. Ball not out, according to referee Machalosa. FEU cleared out. Ball taking a few bounces, and Kaya take the lead. Tolentin stealing in behind her marker to tap the ball in. It's an early lead again for Kaya. Restrained celebrations, of course, from the FEU alumna. But the rest of her teammates celebrate because it's 1-0
Ball
to
taking a few
Kaya
bounces
FC.
and Kaya take the lead.
Sloppy defending at
Tolentino
the back
stealing in behind
by
her marker
FEU.
to tap the ball in. Ball taking a few bounces and Kaya take the lead. Tolentino stealing in behind her
It's
marker to
Tolentino's
tap the
seventh
ball
goal
in.
of the
It's an
campaign so
early
far.
lead again.
Seventh in 5 games. FEU are wounded now. They're going to have to find a way to respond. As we've seen before, when Kaya can take the lead against you, they will pounce on any sort of weakness. The true mark of a top professional team like Kaya, the only professional team in this competition actually. Atiche. Trying to look for Rodriguez out wide. Miscommunication there between Cristobal and Catalonia. Kaya pressing higher now. They smell blood in the water. Altiche wriggles free. Barely cleared by an FEU defender. That's a better clearance. But Kaya regained the ball again. Switching possession rapidly now is Kaiser Colina. FEU will look to reset. De La Peña back to Lehayan. Caught flat-footed for the opening goal. Just a sea of bodies wherever these FEU players run into. It's a real difficulty to play against a team that can press as well as Kaya. Kaya again. Moving up the pitch. Trying to catch FEU on the counter, but FEU instead robbed them of the ball. It's just not enough power on that. Or I should say too much power. FEU trying to play it through. Yoshida's there again. We saw her play a more advanced role in the second half against LaSalle and in the game against UP. Today she's back in that center back position. Kaya player hits the floor, but the referee doesn't whistle. Trinidad back to the right back, Catalonia, trying to find an onrushing. I think that's Arevalo. Kaya work it back though. Chan, one of the few players in this Kaya squad who was with Stallion last year and played in continental competition. The other one is Bebe Lemoran, who's on the bench. Of course, Stallion last year were AFC representatives. They played in the AFC Women's Champions League in the group alongside Melbourne City and Ho Chi Minh of Vietnam and Lion City Sailors of Singapore. They made it all the way to the knockout rounds where they finally lost to eventual runners-up, Tokyo Verdy. And before Stallion, it was Kaya 2 years ago. Faced off against College of Asian Scholars and Bam Katoon and Melbourne City. Pace of the game just slowing down a bit as both teams settle back into their tactics. Like a Cuenco with the throw-in. Instrumental in Kaya's last PFF Women's League campaign. Of course, it was a campaign that Kaya were second all the way until the final match day. In fact, Stalin were about to win it in their game against Kaya in the penultimate match day, were it not for a late equalizer from Kaya striker Julius Cisneros. And then they were trailing Makati and equalized, and then in the final minutes of the game won it and the entire league with a Cuenco goal in the most dramatic of circumstances. The ball takes a few bounces. FEU cleared out again. Kaya clearly dominant side now. Karag switches it back to Chan. Tolentin. Chan, lovely vision outside. Cuenco puts the ball in. Lehayan, blocked by an FEU body, and Rodriguez retrieves it. Kaya looking to put the ball back in the mixer, and Lehayan's down. The referee finally blows the whistle. Again, Kaya so dangerous from the wings. I think she took a collision there. Just Lehayan, last season's best goalkeeper winner at the UAP. FEU also won best midfielder with Regina Bosura, who is on the bench for today. Or my apologies, she's not playing. Looks like both teams are now going in for the first hydration break. This generated a lot of discourse around the World Cup with the mandatory hydration breaks around the 22nd minute. Of course, here in tropical countries such as the Philippines, it's a mandatory break, cooling break, because of the warm climate and the hot temperatures. And all the players now are regrouping and fixing their tactics while Lehayan of FEU is treated for her injury. You can see FEU subkeeper Blaine Barredo doing her warm-ups just in case she needs to come in. This might be a big blow to FEU if Lehayan comes off. Instrumental in preventing Kaya's second goal. Rodriguez retrieves it.
Let's take a look
Kaya
again
looking
at
to
that
put the ball back in the mix, and
incident.
Lehayan's down.
When
The
she was
referee
on the
finally
ground,
blows the
you see her
whistle.
pointing.
Again, Kaya so dangerous.
Of course, the chance before
from the
that was a
wings.
dangerous
Cross which found its way into the FEU box. FEU just threw bodies at the ball and they managed to block it.
Substitution for Far Eastern University.
And it looks like she will not continue.
Replaced by player number 20.
You gotta pity or feel sorry for FEU that Cuenco
use crying over spilt milk.
puts the ball in.
That's just Lehayan is
Lehayan,
forced off for number
Blocked by an
26
FEU body,
subkeeper Blaine
and Rodriguez
Barredo.
retrieves it. Kaya looking to put the ball
You
back
see a
in the mix.
replay of that chance.
Looks like she took a hard collision there. Looks like the hydration break is ending as Kaya look to streak even further clear of FEU. As it stands, they're now 6 points clear at the top of the table with 5 wins from 5 and 15 points. FEU, as it stands, would have 3 wins, 2 losses at 9 points. Third and fourth today are LaSalle and UP facing off at 7 p.m. later. Yoshida. Cuenco. First touches of the ball for Barredo. Cuenco's been very active down that right-hand side for Kaya. Received the booking 2 games ago. They switched her from left back to right back, where it seems she's even better. As FEU look to form a sort of response to Kaya. They're 1-0 down. They're on the back foot. Of course, if these sides stay the way they are in the table, it's not going to be the last. Just to give a recap of this season's format, it's a double round robin. So each of the 4 teams will play each other twice. That means 6 matches in the group stage. And since there are 4 teams, the top 2 will face off in the final, and then there will be a third place playoff. As the ball reaches Tolentine, she fakes inside and is saved by Barredo. Just the pure pace of Tolentine allowing her to get in the end of that. And it was a flying Barredo. Coming in like Supergirl, just able to by Barredo, marshal the ball away there. Almost a second goal, almost a brace for Inday Tolentine. Kaya have a corner though. Swing it in. Barredo, unsteady hands there. As the ball takes a few bounces in the box, and it's another blocked shot for Kaya. They have their grip on the match now, and they're not going to let go. Cuenco will take the throw in. Rodriguez marshaled out safely by the FEU defender. FEU slack pass. It's a hospital pass. And that was on Rubia with an attempt from distance. Kaya piling on the shots now, looking to test the FEU goalkeeper Barredo. Given how this is happening, that might not be the last time I say your name in this first half. Now they're on the other side of the pitch. It's a lovely through ball. Cristobal playing it back to Catalonia. Again, intercepted in the middle. And Rodriguez, I think she was kicked in the back there by an FEU defender. Looks like De La Peña. Whistled for a foul by Rimar Celosa, the referee. Of course, there are gray skies and it's forecasted for rain later today. I have another corner, this time from the right-hand side. They play it low. It's a lovely move. I think that's Tolentine again as she lifts it into the box. Brave header there from an FEU defender. Arevalo clears it, but Kaya in the way again. Kadag receiving the ball one again. This time she plays it forward, looking for Mendaño. And this time, Barredo is able to collect it safely. FU, of course, best defense and best offense in the UAP last season. They've now won a number of titles on the bounce, and they defeated LaSalle in the final in all three of the last three UAP campaigns. They give the ball away there. It's Rodriguez again, just pestering the defense, not allowing them to rest on the ball. Tolentine standing over it. Chooses to go short again. Kadag unleashes one. It's over the bar. Ever since that goal, FU haven't really troubled the goal of Kim Pariña. They, of course, had the first real chance of the game. It was a stinging attempt after the Kayak defense lost the ball in possession. But ever since, they have not created a chance. Yoshida, they're cleaning up the mess, picking up the pieces. FU swarm trying to win the ball back, but the referee is hearing nothing. Cristobal. It's an on-rushing Arevalo. It's caught at the near post by Pariña. Only the second time this match he's been called into action. Again, FEU looking to channel down the right-hand side. That's where almost all of their attacks have gone through. For Kaya, it's also been the same right-hand side. We haven't heard much of Alex Carpio yet. It's a lovely turn by Arevalo. Just too much on it, though. Just trying to do too much as Kaya this time on the counter-attack. And it's Tolentine once again. And it's another save by Barredo. Comes out quickly from her net to deny a brace for Inday Tolentine. Been very active since getting subbed on for the injured Jessa Lehayan. Of course, for both teams, this is also serving as preparation for upcoming tournaments. Kaya have their Women's Champions League qualifiers in Kyrgyzstan later next month in August. FEU, meanwhile, are preparing for a title defense in the UAP Season 89, which will also begin around the start of the first semester in August or September. Kaya. That's Mendaño with a flying attempt. Another flying save for Barredo. Kaya just peppering her goal with shots. Kaya. That's Mendaño with a flying attempt. Half volley from Mai Mendaño. Another flying save for... As the ensuing corner is cleared, but not far enough. Altiche trying one of her own. It's a safer catch this time. She kicks it long, looking for an FEU attacker. So long now, FEU have been denied opportunities by Kaya. Especially down the left-hand side. Cuenco's kept it locked down. Altiche. Kadag, been a force to be reckoned with in the center of the park today. Mendaño, too much on that. "15 minutes to go. We're half an hour into this game. And just to remind you, at 6 p.m. in about 1.5 hours time is the Philippine men's national team's opening game in the ASEAN Hyundai Cup against Myanmar. That will be played in up north in Clark at the new Clark City Stadium. The two sides of course faced off earlier in the year in June. That was of course with a weakened squad for the Philippines where they defeated Myanmar 5-1. Myanmar coming off a loss to Malaysia. Well, this will be the Philippines' first game. They're also in Group B with Thailand and Laos and Malaysia. There's also earlier this year the ASEAN Women's Futsal Championship that was held in Thailand. The Philippines sent a women's team to that. There are actually a number of players from 3 teams in this competition who were in that. For Kaya, you have on the pitch right now Mai Mendaño, Ray Chan, Inday Tolentino, all part of that squad. FEU had Regina Basura and Sarajan Tulabing. And of course, there's also Renuera of UP. Kaya trying to push for a second. FEU again, pass it down the right-hand side with Arevalo and with Cristobal. That's where they've looked for most often. But Alex Carpio chasing, too little on the ball into the box. And the ball is sprayed wide, missed by Akaya head, and this Cristobal now bearing down on goal. Arevalo looks to make her run. I don't know if she's offside. The referee doesn't raise the flag. Yoshida, monster challenge. FEU, bright spot of possession for them. Lovely flick by Cristobal. Trying to look for an option, but no one in the middle. Can you recycle it out wide? Carpio. Rubia tries to run over the ball. There's an FEU defender right behind her. Kadag, again, recycling possession in the midfield. Just the metronome of this Kaya midfield. Carpio. Back to Yoshida. Chan spring it out wide to Tolentino. That's a lovely pass. As she looks for Rodriguez in the middle, it's cut out by De La Peña. Sal looking slightly more confident on the ball now. I don't know if you can hear that, but the thunder is only getting louder. It might start to rain on the pitch soon, and I'm not sure how that will impact the play on the pitch. We've seen rainy games on the Rizal Memorial Stadium and here at the Adidas football pitch before, especially on artificial turfs. It can be tricky to play on, tricky to clean up. FEU miscontrol that, and it's going to be a Kaya throw in deep into their half. 10 minutes to go until the halftime break, until a brief respite for both teams. FEU will look within those next 10 minutes to try and grab an equalizer. Kaya will look to make it 2. Ball taking a few knocks in the penalty area. As Kaya cycle it out wide down the right-hand side. Carpio pressing. If you do just enough. Can they launch a counterattack now? Hassled by bodies there. And now there's a ball out wide. And it does find an FEU attacker. Two are with her right now. She opts for the third choice. Parinya, safe catch, comes out early. It's the first time that left-hand side for FEU has seen action. Looking to keep her second clean sheet of the competition, Kim Parinya. De La Peña, hassled by Rodriguez. Been very active, Camilo Rodriguez, in just forcing the press on FEU, not allowing them time and space on the ball. So many times now we've seen them just clear the ball out in a rush because of the intense press. Tolentin, Cuenco, there's bodies in the middle. She tries going alone. Almost worked. In fact, she's won a corner for Kaya. Will be Tolentin standing over the ball once more for this corner. They play it low again. They've tried that a number of times. She receives it back. Swings it in, and it's missed by everyone. I think that was Alex Carpio at the back post who just missed the ball with her head. But it took a deflection off of a LaSalle defender, so it will be another corner for Kaya. We're trying those new corners now, Kaya. Low balls that are recycled back out. This time it's a more traditional corner, though. Barredo misses it, and it's tapped in for two. Kaya extend their lead, and now that's Alex Carpio. Missed the header just a few seconds ago. This time she's not missing anything. This time it's a more traditional corner, though. A wild swing and a miss. Barredo misses it by Barredo, and it's tapped in for two. Carpio's there to clean up afterwards. It's 2-0 Kaya. It's a very deserving lead for the women in black and yellow.
FC Iloilo by player number 30, Alessandria Carpio.
Of course, Carpio is no stranger to the big stage. In that SEA Games where the Philippines won gold, she was part of the penalty shootout against Thailand and against Vietnam. So she knows what it's like to face pressure. She knows what it's like to be in matches that matter. She's a big game player. And now FEU have a mountain to climb. It's 2-0, and as we know, once Kaya are on a roll, they don't stop. Cristobal, again, swarmed by Kaya bodies, not allowing a moment to rest. Tolentin, again, just an available option out wide. And again, the pressure leads to another Kaya corner. The last one led to a goal just a few moments ago. Can this one lead to a third before the halftime whistle? Tolentin again, standing over it. I don't know how many times I've said her name during this match so far. Kaya this time leaving fewer defenders in the box, as Yoshida's on the edge of it. It does mean a Kaya head. Someone taking a fall there deflects off few bodies. Mendaño trying to win it. Atiche does. Takes a wild swing. It's going off target. But it had been by far the busier of the two keepers this game. She's had to make a number of saves and saw her net breached once. Parinya, by comparison, has had to make a couple of half chances for FEU. It's looking increasingly like Kaya are going to finish at the top of the table with a 6-point lead before their regular season ender against LaSalle this Saturday. And they look to extend it further as she gets past one. Mendaño gets past two. She can't get past the third. FU at 6s and 7s. But this time they're on the counter-attack. Can they respond quickly? Cristobal offering herself as an option. Then she gets the ball. 4 players are joining her. Recycle it once more. Kaya have just done a really good job of stifling that FEU midfield. I haven't said the name of Trinidad or of Tulabing too much. She receives out wide though. Kaya cleared again. Just a recap for you of what's happened so far today. FEU actually had the first chance of the game. It was a defensive giveaway by Rhea Chan. But it was a stinging effort from Arevalo that was saved by the palms of Kim Pariña. Kaya then took the lead in the 10th minute through Inday Tolentin, and they doubled it just 4 minutes ago in the 38th or 37th minutes with Alex Carpio off a corner. They could make it 3 here. Tolentin flashes wide of the left side. Almost 3-0 again for Kaya. Carpio off a corner. They could make it 3 here. Tolentin flashes wide of the left side, whistled wide of the right-hand side of Barredo's net. We saw one of Kaya's top scorers, Isabella Tolentino, score that kind of goal a few games ago against UP. She's on the bench today. Fizzed pass. Intercepted by Arevalo, but Kaya swarm around her. Clearly told to mark her. The danger player for FEU. Chest control that from Cristobal and Arevalo. Weaves past a couple of players. Shaping for the cross. She ups the cut inside instead. FEU. Just a Kaya player in front of them on every turn, at every opportunity. Cristobal. Again, in the way. Is another player in black. Atiche. First into giving the ball away. It's a lofted ball from De La Cruz, and it's a safe catch once again for Pariña. Chan out wide to Tolentin. Can she do something else? Can she make something happen? Rodriguez. Tolentin on the side. She receives it back, but she steps over it. Carpio pressing. Unable to get it. Cristobal receives it. Onrubias making a run. Marshaled away by Rhea Chan. And Pariña will waste valuable seconds by holding on to this. We have 4 minutes of added time as shown by fourth official Jesus Abogado. 240 seconds of more Kaya pressure on FEU. Carpio. Atiche. Rodriguez this time in the left-hand side. Dribbles it out. It was a tight call. Kaya just keeping possession now. Looking to see out the first half. She does not have much to do. Neither has Chan. Only a few Kaya FU attacks that they've had to stifle. And on the other hand, Carpio receives it. Oh, what a goal! And Alex Carpio has her brace. It's a wonderful floated effort from the edge of the box. And Barredo was left rooted to the spot. She could do nothing about the wonderful strike that she was facing. Receives it. Lofted ball over the keeper. Goes post and in from Alex Carpio. And that's the best goal of the game so far. And as it is, Kaya are heading into the break with a wonderful, comfortable 3-0 advantage. FEU don't know how to answer back. Can they within the next 2 minutes? Or will Kaya press home the advantage further? Of course, they've been handicapped by the substitution of keeper Jessa Lahayan. But that's nothing to take away from how involved and how much Barredo has been at the rescue and at the beck and call of FEU today as a substitute keeper. But Kaya have been too much for the Tamarao's defense to handle. It's a lofted ball again by Chan. Tolentino was making a run, but the referee flags for offside. That's Kaya's 21st goal that they've scored this season, I think. They scored 4 against FEU in the opening game, 7 against UP, 3 against LaSalle, 3 more against UP. And this is their 3-0 lead here too, after only 45 minutes played. For 45 minutes and some change. Arevalo. Can UP, my apologies, can FEU spring one last attack before the halftime whistle? Doesn't look like they will. Catalonia looking for Tulabing as she finds Cristobal. Probably FEU's most involved player so far. Tulabing again. Rodriguez. There's people making a run either side of her as referee Ray Marcelosa tells her to get up and whistles for an FEU free kick instead, which they take quickly. The ball looking for Arevalo in the middle, but she's just had no service today, has she? Kaya just seeing the game out now. Precious few seconds left on the clock. That referee, Ray Marcelosa, will blow. He puts his hand to his whistle. He puts his mouth to his whistle and calls for halftime. It's been a thoroughly one-sided affair here for Kaya so far. They took the lead in the 10th minute through Inday Tolentin. They doubled it in the 38th after a tap in from a corner with Alex Carpio. And then she finished it off with a lovely lofted effort over substitute keeper Blaine Barredo in the 45th minute at the stroke of halftime. FEU are back to the drawing board for the second half. As it stands, it's Kaya FC 3, FEU 0. We're nearing the end of the road. I say that because Kaya will be led by Coach David Basa. Pe- Kaya will be led by Coach David Basa.
Ball taking a few bounces, and Kaya take the lead. Tolentino stealing in behind her marker to tap the ball in. Ball taking a few bounces, and Kaya take the lead. Tolentino stealing in behind her marker to tap the ball in.
And they defeated LaSalle in the final in all three of the last three UAP campaigns. They give the ball away there as she receives it back. Swings it in, and it's missed by everyone. This time it's a more traditional corner though. Barredo misses it, and it's tapped in for two. Carpio receives it. Oh, what a goal! And Alex Carpio has her brace. Welcome back to match number 9 of 14 and match day 5 of 6 of the 2026 PFF Women's League. This is a game between Kaya FC and FEU. Of course, Kaya were the first side to come out of the tunnel, out of the dugout. FEU a lot later. FEU will hope that the halftime break gave them a chance to regroup because so far it's been plain sailing and dominant for the women in black. Kaya took the lead in the 10th minute after Inday Tolentino stole behind the defense. And then they doubled their lead in the 38th minute, 30 minutes later, after Alex Carpio capitalized on a mistake by substitute keeper Blaine Barredo. And then with a lovely lofted finish, Carpio made it 3 at the stroke of halftime with a strike from outside the box, looped over the keeper. It was a half in which Kaya looked unplayable, their defense unbreachable. Every time a LaSalle defender tried to play out, there was a Kaya player pressing. Every time the LaSalle player tried to attack, there was a Kaya player in the way. They will hope that after this chance to regroup, that they will come out of the second half swinging and to try and trouble the team in black at least a little bit more. Tolentino was very active during that game. Of course, she got the opening goal and she was very dangerous in everything down the right-hand side connected to Kaya. Of course, she's one of a number of players in this squad that has roots in FEU as an FEU alumna. On the pitch also are Bebe Lemoran on the bench, but you also have Joyce Onrubia and Christine Julieza. As Kaya come forward again, it's their first foray into the FAU half of this game. I was just talking about Onrubia, and it was Onrubia who had the shot. Played in FAU until last year. On your screen right now is Blaine Barredo. Had to come on halfway through the game because of an injury to LaSalle FEU number 1, Jessamine Lahayan, who won UAP Best Goalkeeper last season. Been a very busy keeper and forced into a number of saves, but unfortunately there were 2 Kaya shots she couldn't keep out. And if Kaya continued the way the match has been going, there might be a few more for her to stop. Not sure, but we will bring you substitutions if there were any made for both sides. Tolentino holding play up. Looks like Kaya are largely unchanged. Now it's with Cristobal, FEU's most involved player earlier in the half, bombing up and down the right-hand side, but her teammates received no service because of how Kaya were able to stifle the attack. Cuenco. Tolentino offered free space, tries to play it into Rodriguez, FEU bundle it away. Tolentino pressing and hassling again. And Cuenco keeps it in. Receives it back. And the Kaya press continues. That same suffocating press that they employed in the first half. As Tolentino pass supposed to find on Rubia. FEU escape once more. And now they're provided with a route to goal. Cristobal is played through. She finds Alticha for company. Finally makes her way around her. And they play the ball into the box, but there's no one there. Or at least no one that isn't marked by a Kaya defender. Given away by Yoshida. Kaya's Japanese center half. But they get the ball back. Game looking a little imbalanced right now. Both teams just trying to suss each other out again. Try and work their way up the field without losing shape. Carpio. Too much on that. Number 6 in the middle of your screen is Kaya captain Shala Kadag. Number of caps with the women's national team. Now holding down the center of the park for Kaya for the last few seasons. There's a large number of national team players in this Kaya squad. Of course, Inday Tolentino, 2 goals last year for the Filipinas. Both in a win over Timor-Leste. As Arevalo is hassling the Kaya defense there, trying to start an attack. And they get the ball back. To some capacity it worked. Cristobal offering herself. Catalonia. Swings it into the middle. Tulabing hardly said her name in the first half. Tulabing again. Hassled by Tolentino. FEU trying to work something. Just a lack of communication. Stalling their plans. Once again intercepting the ball over the top. Meant for Cam Rodriguez. As the ball is played back to substitute keeper Blaine Barredo. Now with the center half. De La Peña. De La Cruz. Again, the left-hand side of FEU. Not the most active in the first half. They would like to change that. Then stifled by the Kaya backline, specifically Recha and the end like a Cuenco. Arevalo swinging the ball into the box. There's a free woman there. First real save Kim Parinas had to make this half. Can hear Coach Dave Basa of Kaya screaming out instructions there. At the edge of his technical area. First time that an FEU player was unmarked in that area of the box. She count their lucky stars that the finish did not accompany the run. But it is a warning sign for Kaya. Again, they haven't kept a clean sheet. They've only kept 1 clean sheet this season. That was in the last match against UP. They conceded against FEU at the end of the first half in the opening match day. The same thing against LaSalle and the same thing against UP. They need to watch themselves if they want to make it 2 clean sheets in a row. And Rubia. Kadag again composed in the middle of the pitch. Carpio coming short. This rotation of positions is very trademark of Kaya's playing style. We saw it also with the men's team under then coach Yu Hoshide. The front four will often exchange positions. Of course, there are a couple of Kaya players in the men's national team who will be playing in just over an hour in the game against Myanmar. You have goalkeeper Patrick Dato and striker Martini Ray both called up to the national team alongside a number of other PFL players. And of course, with the women's team, they have a bunch of players who are World Cup bound, including Talentin, who's on the ball right now, and who's swinging the ball right now, and there's no one at the end of it. Such a danger whenever she gets onto the ball. You just get the sense that something is going to happen. Women's team will play in the World Cup next year in Brazil. They, of course, qualified after beating Uzbekistan 2-0 in that Asian Cup playoff. Goals from Angie Beard and Jacqueline Savitsky. As it's a ball that finds Cristobal. Two people offering options there. She goes with De La Peña. De La Peña, it's a curling effort that just curls wide. Encouraging signs for FEU, but the final ball, the final finish, has been absent so far. That's number 30, Iris de la Cruz, coming up from fullback. Speaking of the women's team, there is also a plan outlined by the Philippine Football Federation for preparation for that World Cup. It starts with the Asian Games in October in Japan. My apologies, in September. In October, there will be a reported camp in South America. December, there will be another camp in Oceania or Asia, followed by a February appearance in the Pinatar Cup. That's our third appearance. And then we have Olympic qualifiers in April before the camp in Brazil, before the start of the tournament. And speaking of the Asian Games, we will be sending both men's and women's teams there for the first time in a long time. The women's team drawn into Group G, with powerhouse China, Uzbekistan, and Hong Kong. The top two and the best third placers advanced from that. And the men's under-23, after their performance in the AFC under-23 qualifiers, have also qualified after India and Australia withdrew. So they will be in Group C alongside Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Kuwait. Rodriguez shields the ball out for a corner on Kaya's left-hand side. Usually, again, a weapon for Kaya off the bench, but today she's received the starting 11 call-up. As we see Kaya preparing to make a couple of changes at least. One of them is one of the season's top scorers, Jisabella Tolentino, number 27. As they swing it in, headed away by FEU. As the referee deems that challenge too physical there and calls for a free kick slightly into FEU territory. Tolentin stands over this. Rather, Mai Mendaño, rather. Also a former Filipina. Played for the team in around 2017-18, the team that qualified for the Asian Cup. As we see the confirmation of the substitutes, Cam Rodriguez steps off and is replaced by Tolentino. And fullback Carmela Alticha steps off for Johnny Fontamillas, and Joyce Anrubia steps off for Bebe Lemoran. Kaya swing the ball in if you deal with it. Some pace there from De La Peña to try to catch up to that. Tolentin, tricky feet. Tolentino looking to get her first touches of the ball. She does. She bears down on goal and places it in the middle. And it's 4-0 for Kaya. And it's a hat trick for Alex Carpio. Talk about making an impact off the bench for Gisabella Tolentino. Those were her first touches of the ball. And immediately after getting subbed on, she gets an assist and lays it on a plate for Carpio to
Touches
score
of the
her
ball,
hat-trick.
she does.
She bears down on goal and places it in the middle. FEU rather cut open by the
And it's
Kaya
4-0 for
counter-attack.
touches of the ball, she does.
She bears down on goal. Middle. And it's 4-0 for Kaya. That's 3 for the day for Alex Carpio. It was a quiet presence in the first half until the 38th minute when she popped up to score. And then she made it 2 with a long-range strike, and she's made it 3 now. That's 3 goals within 20 minutes. Of course, Carpio hails from the United States. She was actually playing with the Oakland Soul when she was first called up to the Filipinas, but now she's with Kaya. The other one with heritage from that are Tolentino and Rhea Chan. Tolentino actually last year was playing for an American college with Westcliff University. Chan played actually with Stallion last season and was also capped by the Filipinas. That's a shot in anger there. And if you are rewarded with a corner, no real intent on that shot aside to just place it in the back of the net. So far, Kim Pareña's clean sheet has been unspoiled, remains intact. As the ball drops in the middle of the box there, Tolentino pressing, trying to force LaSalle into a mistake. FEU rather. That was Cuenco. Usually plays along the flanks for Kaya, either at left back or right back. Kaya will be playing this PFF Women's League season for the first time absent without their 2 awardees last Women's League season. Captain and the most capped Filipina of all time, or Filipino of all time, Hailey Long, moved to College of Asian Scholars and she won MVP of last year's campaign. And then Golden Boot winner Julius Cisneros is now in Malaysia. If you are also without MVP Janela Albino and Regina Bosura, best midfielder of last UAP campaign, and best goalkeeper Jess Lahayan was subbed off. So now they're going to rely on the services of UAP Golden Boot winner Jody Arevalo, who gets on the ball right now, but she's been thoroughly marked up by Yoshida. Tolentino spots an on-rushing Tolentino, and the connection is made. Takes 1 touch, 2 touches, looking for someone in the middle, and finds Kadag, or rather Lemoran, skies it over the bar. As it stands, this would be Kaya's second biggest win of the season. They beat UP 7-0, 7-1 rather, during the second match day. They actually beat FEU 4-1, so they're doing 1 better currently. Their closest game was against LaSalle when they won 3-1. And that was actually 3-0 until the final moments where LaSalle got a consolation. Kaya, go again. LaSalle and UP will be in a rematch as well. 3rd, 4th place rematch. Oh, it's lovely feet from Tolentino. And it's a lovely ball into the box. Carpio with the diving header steers it wide. But dangerous again from Tolentino. So tricky on the ball. So fast with their feet. There will be another game later today, of course. UP and LaSalle. Again, a rematch from the opening match day where LaSalle beat UP 1-0 because of a goal from Chenny Danyoso, who also scored against Kaya last match day or last 2 match days ago. FU trying to claw their way back into this. But how do you against the Kaya side that is this tactically adept, this defensively solid? That's Parinya, hassled. De La Cruz, Arevalo, back to De La Cruz, but that was offside. The referee, the assistant referee, spares Kaya's blushes there because it was a poor defensive giveaway. And it was a result of the pressure of Judy Arevalo that led to that. Of course, the final pass was offside there. Kaya breathed a sigh of relief. They're 4-0 up, but they would like to keep the clean sheet. Chan trying a quick kickstart. Another attack for Kaya. Tolentino now occupying the center forward spot that Rodriguez was occupying earlier in the game before getting subbed off. Again, Tolentino, quick burst of speed to get past her marker. Tolentino ahead of her. She gets past one. Takes a deflection. Carpio gets the ball back. Swings it into Tolentino. 2 Kaya players in the box. Kadag recycles it. A searching ball in the box is found by Barredo. Kaya still keeping up the pressure on FAU and it pays off. Tolentino. Lemoran offering himself in the middle. Kadag offering herself to Lemoran. Proactive team play from Kaya. Kadag. Adventurous shot from outside the box. Deflected by an FEU center back. Just a reminder for those who are not able to make the trip to Clark, in half an hour after this live stream, there will be a Facebook live stream by the Federation, of course, the Philippine Football Federation, of the game against Myanmar at 6 p.m. So be sure to check that. Forced into another save there is Barredo. And it's Kaya's, I'm not sure how many corners they have. Maybe it's into the double digits now. They scored their second from a corner. So can they make it 4?
Substitution for Kaya FC.
As Kaya make another substitution. Rhea-chan, after a solid defensive effort, is subbed off for the usual starter, Christine Julieza. Maybe to fill in the center back. And Julieza, I'm not sure if that was her or Yoshida who got ahead to that. Would have been quite the introduction. Kaya so threatening from corners. FEU so far haven't made a sub as far as I can recall. Tolentino spins her marker. Tolentino finishes in the bottom corner to make it 5. FEU caught asleep at the back again, and this time it's Josabella Tolentino who finally gets in the scoring. Kaya just do not stop. Spins her marker with the goals. Tolentino finishes in the bottom corner to make it 5. Tucked away in the corner there after spinning her marker. Tino spins her marker. Josabella Tolentino, the substitute. That's what she's in the bottom corner to make it 5 off the bench. As Maria Angel Egay for FEU comes on as a substitute. She's listed as a forward, so FEU are going to be looking to instead try to find
Goal for Kaya FCU
a consolation at this point.
number 27, Isabella Emanuela Tolentino.
That's Tolentino's 5th of the season. She scored a hat trick against UP and another one against FEU in the first game at Evalo. Or rather, that's Egay gesturing for the ball in the box. The ball drops to Alasal defend forward and relief for Kaya as it goes straight into the midriff of Lehayan. It's a quick snapshot there. So far, she's been equal to every question that FEU's asked of her. As it looks like De La Cruz took quite a knock there to the head. Of course, in football, when you do that, you have to stop play for a head injury. Hopefully, it's nothing serious. Just a reminder that the men's national team have a game in half an hour. Lineups are already out for the men's side. Of course, it's a weekend lineup because it's not a FIFA window for the ASEAN Hyundai Cup. So a lot of the players are locally based or Southeast Asian based. A lot of these players are actually have roots in the PFL. At keeper for the national team is Quincy Camarad, playing the PFL last season with Taguig. FEU, there's a player who takes a stumble in the box there. She says she was pushed in the back, but referee Rima Tolosa says nothing doing. Frustration continues to mount for FEU. To continue with the men's national team lineup, the center back partnership will be two defenders who are in the PFL last season. Noah Ladell of Cebu formerly and Dice Quesato of Taguig. Scott Woods is at left back, also used to play with the ADT. Right back is Santi Rublico. Midfield is Oscar Kiakanen, also of the PFL before. Javier Mariona and Cole Mroca and Sandro Reyes. And then the front line is Harvey Gayoso and Pocholo Bugas, also of both of the PFL. Our attention right now is on the game at hand. As Kaya continue to mount pressure to search for a sixth, what would be their joint biggest win this season. Headed on by Carpio. Tolentino with a touch. FEU slack clearances. Carpio with a long shot. Carpio! And it's number 4 for Alex Carpio. And that's the best of the lot. A smashing shot from way outside the box. Barreda saw it all the way, but there was nothing she could do about it. Carpio with a long shot. Carpio! Posited in the top corner. And it's number 4 for unsavable from Alex Carpio. And just like that, she shot herself up to second top scorer in the Women's League. It's an emphatic 6 for Kaya. The result looking more like a tennis score now. But Kaya continued to push further. FEU now just trying to see the game out. Kaya won't let them. Tolentin. Two people on her. Kadag. Navigating the midfield with ease. And Tolentin gets it back. She keeps it in. Does too much and handles the ball in the process. What an effort that was from Alex Carpio. She scored a wonderful goal earlier in the first half. A looping effort from outside the box, and this one was the cherry on top. Cherry on top of a cherry on top. That one to complete their hat trick. This one to make it for a haul, as they say. She hasn't been the most involved in this game, but when she's needed to, she's popped up and she's got the goal. Of course, this is the first PFF Women's League campaign in 2 years. The last one was held here at the MOA pitch in 2024. Last year we had the very brief PFF Women's Cup, which was contested between 4 teams, and only one of them is here, that's Kaya. You also had Tuloy FC, CF Manila, and Kaya's perennial challengers, Stallion Laguna, who aren't competing this season. The last game of that was, of course, a 2-2 draw between Kaya and Stallion before it was indefinitely postponed for the Filipinas camp in November for the Asian Games, for the SEA Games rather. And earlier that year, you also had the conclusion of the PFL Final Series, in which Cebu won 1-0 over Manila Digger. Digger, of course, got the better and they won the PFL, which concluded last May. They'll be representing the country and the league in the AFC Champions League 2 playoffs against Persib Bandung and in the ASEAN Club Championships against Kasuka of Brunei. PFL, meanwhile, starts on August 22 is the temporary start date. Right after this one concludes, Tolentine, Kaya looking for a 7th. That bounces off the top of the crossbar. And that was Carpia looking for number 5. Even though she's got 4, you can see she's frustrated. She wants that 5th goal. The result was never in doubt now, as Kaya will march to the top of the table with 5 wins out of 5, 15 points, a plus 20 goal difference.
Substitutions, Kaya FC Iloilo.
And here is why Carpio was frustrated. She could have gotten her 5th, and now Coach Dave Basa takes her off for Irish Navaja. Also coming on are Anaya Soto and Milet Tuliao, who are replacing Alex Carpio and Chela Kadag. Kaya making wholesale changes now with the result in sight. There are 14 minutes left before the final whistle. But they continue to press. Of course, that's the benefit of having fresh legs. If you haven't come up with an attack in forever, but it feels like they're ready to spring. But that run from De La Cruz, again, hustled out for a Kaya throw. There's also 13 minutes left for Kim Parilla to hang on to her second clean sheet of the season. FU gonna want to score a consolation goal, and this could be the avenue for that as they win a free kick in Kaya's half. This is a substitute again, Casey Bautista, who lobs it into the box. Kaya heads it away. They do not want to give up the clean sheet. Even though most of the substitutes they've made are attacking changes. The only change, two changes at back for Kaya are Rhea Chen, who stepped off for Christine Julieza, and Janly Fontamillas, who stepped on for, I think it was Carmela Altiche. Soto on the ball. One substitute to another. She finds Tuliao. Soto again. Kaya now playing with only 4 of their original starting 11. That's Parinya, Cuenco, Mendaño, and Yoshida, the only ones left from the original starting 11. And the only very slight dip in quality is a testament to how deep they are as a side. This is also going to serve as a harsh but valuable lesson to FEU, especially a defensive one, is that they have to shore up their back line before they face UP in the final game, and then they face Kaya again in the final, most likely. There is, however, a route to the final for LaSalle. UP are all but eliminated from the final, and as the table stands, with 5 games played, FEU will have 3 wins and 2 losses and a negative 4-goal difference. LaSalle with a negative 4-goal difference, 1 game, 1 win, 3 losses, and they face UP. So a win against UP later would put them in second before they face Kaya in the final match day. They will have to beat FEU's result against UP if they want to qualify for the finals instead. It was LaSalle rather, who did get the closest result against Kaya this campaign. They lost 3-1 a couple of weeks ago. FEU still searching for a consolation. De La Cruz. Arevalo, free on the outside of the box. It's a handball whistled by referee Raymar Celosa. This could be an opportunity for FEU to get 1 goal back. FEU stands over the free kick. I'm not sure who the player is. I think it might be De La Cruz. Stands over it, takes it, and it's over the bar. Kim Parine will be glad to see it over the bar because for now, she still keeps her clean sheet. This is now Kaya's joint biggest win of the season after their 7-1 beatdown of UP last month. Could be a magical number 7 though if they keep pressing forward. Fresh legs for FEU could make the difference. Another offside. I think for De La Cruz again, who seems to have pushed back from left back all the way up the left wing. Cuenco. Soto in the middle looks for Fontamillas. Soto receives the ball again before being intercepted. I think that was the substitute, Egay. Kaya have been so dangerous from crosses today, they're going to look to put another one into the box. The trouble substitute keeper, Blaine Barredo. Look at this. She's keeping the... I don't know how long she's kept the ball there at the corner flag. But it's a lovely piece of work from Isabella Tolentino to win a throw-in for Kaya in that area. Held the ball onto the corner flag for about 5 to 6 seconds there. Referee whistles there. I'm not sure what it was for. Again, just to recap the game, Kaya took the lead in the 10th minute through an effort off a cross from Inday Tolentin. They made it 2 with Alex Carpio from a corner in the 38th. And just as the clock ticked on to halftime, Carpio, with a wonderful looping effort, made it 3. And then in the second half, it was another really good effort from Carpio to make it 4. She got her 4th, of course, from a screamer from distance. The 6th goal, of course, was the cherry on top, finished by Isabella Tolentino, the substitute, after she rounded her defender. It's all pressing up. He spread it out wide. Defenders and forwards piling into the box now. Yoshida again there. Stone, a rock, and a wall at the back for Kaya. Again, just a reminder, in 15 minutes, there will be our men's national team will play their AFF ASEAN Hyundai Cup game against Myanmar in Clark City. They have another home game scheduled for August 4th against Thailand. That's at 9 p.m. if you can make the trip out. There will be, of course, some groups attempting to organize free buses. There was one organized by the Half Space and Roof Serafin in conjunction with former Filipinas team manager Jeff Cheng. Hopefully there will be one again so that fans can watch on the 4th of August against Thailand. There are also games to be played, away games in between those against Myanmar and against Malaysia and against Laos. Stephanie Trinidad is replaced by Althea Bosura. Game is winding down now. 4 minutes left until we get to added time. I'm not sure if there will be a lot, as indicated by referee Raymar Tolosa. Certainly, maybe not as much as what you usually see in tournaments like the World Cup. Kaya taking their time now. It's going to be Cuenco who takes the goal kick instead of Pariña. Clumsily hoisted forward by Catalonia, the fullback. FAU desperately looking now for some sort of consolation, some sort of positive takeaway from this game, because as it is, it's just been one-sided Kaya dominance for most of the game. Could have been a different story because FAU had that chance around the 8th minute last in the first half. Could have taken the lead. Instead, as it is, Kaya have hit them for 6. They could hit them for 7. Tiring legs out there for both teams. Smart one too, but no one on the edge of the cross. You're just waiting for the final whistle now too. These last 2 minutes are now all but a formality for both teams. It's back to the drawing board for FAU. They have to focus on the takeaways they can get before their season ender against UP. As for Kaya, it's more of the same for them. They will face LaSalle, and then after the final, they will travel to Kyrgyzstan for the AFC Women's Champions League. For the other 3 teams, they also have UAP this August, season 89. The rain is now starting to pour on the Adidas football pitch. It was threatening to rain for a while. You could see the gray skies, and there was a forecast by Pag-asa that said of this rain. It's rained now, and there's rain goals as well. Certainly on Kaya's side, it's been raining goals. "30 seconds until we get added time and see how much left of this match is to be played." It's an FEU throw-in whistled by Raymar Celosa. It looks like, I'm not sure how much at a time. It looks like we'll have the same amount as last half. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes under the pouring rain before both teams can dry out and go back to the tunnel and regroup for the next game, which is in just over 4 days. This is a quick midweek fixture. FEU just trying to secure some sort of consolation. That's a brave tackle. Hits the head. Oh, I think that was Cuenco, and Kaya bombing forward. Players are tiring, but you couldn't tell. Now the rain is mixing in with all the sweat from the game. It's fun to play in the rain, of course, but this game's certainly not been much fun for FEU. They've been hit for 6 by Kaya, and no response. They've offered not much in the second half. At least not as much as they would have liked. After this game, there will also be a 7 p.m. kickoff between UP and LaSalle. I'll be commentating on that too. And then this Saturday is the final round of group stage games. Kaya against LaSalle and UP against FEU. And the way this ends, we could see a big clash between FEU and LaSalle for the final spot in the finals. That's a desperate shot again from distance from FEU. Maybe the best exhibition yet of the tiring legs that these teams are facing. We're halfway not through added time. Looks now like it's going to be Kim Parina's second clean sheet of the season. She will lead the league in clean sheets. Trailing her are also the keeper of LaSalle, Jessica Pido. As I'm not sure if FEU or UP has kept a clean sheet yet. It's almost 1 minute now until full time. Kaya trying to get lucky number 7. Right now it's going to be 6-0 unless FEU can come up with something here. And maybe they can. As Parina lets the ball slip. And they can get a consolation. And it's Judy Arevalo who denies Kaya's clean sheet in the last minute of the game. Pouncing on the ball on the slippery pitch. It was bouncing around. Wriggled free from the grasp of Parina. And she will feel hard done by there. Her clean sheet ruined with 40 seconds left to play. As Judy Arevalo gets a goal. That's her first or second of the season. Kaya will feel hard done by, but it's a rare moment of consolation for FEU. It's something they can take away from this game. As the final score could very well be Kaya 6, FEU 1. All that's missing now is the final whistle. The referee, Ray Marcelosa, not blowing his whistle just yet, allowing the ball to be kicked on from center circle. And there it is. It's domination from Kaya, but it's not the domination that ended the way they would have liked. They raced to a 6-0 lead after the half, powered by 4 goals from Alex Carpio, including 2 screamers outside the box, and 1 each from Inday Tolentin and Isabella Tolentino. They were holding on to a clean sheet until the rain forced a last-minute goal after it slipped out of Kim Pariña's hands to hand FAU a consolation, with Judy Arevalo making it 6-1. Both teams are back to the drawing board, and it's one to look back on for Kaya fondly, not so much for FAU. I'm Hino Sator, and the game has finally ended. It's Kaya 6, FAU 1.
to capitalize on yung opportunities if the team wasn't following the game plan and doing what needed to be done and knowing their roles. So talagang team effort.
And then against FEU, which is the top collegiate team, right? So you've had 2 comfortable wins against them. So what does this say about Kaya's confidence right now, crowd? You can talk about that.
Yeah, very good. I mean, ever since Kaya has always been never say die mentality. And I think that goes beyond like chasing lang the score. So even if comfortable yung lead namin or parang up kami, parang holding ourselves to a higher standard na talagang just trying to be very intentional with what we do. So following the game plan all the time. Again, following what the coaches say, working together, working on our chemistry. So yeah, I think testament lang yung results to the work that we've been putting in every week. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay na. Okay na, take good.